Hey, I hope we're there. I think we are. That's the ticket. Hey, for all of you coming in on the replay, I appreciate you stopping in and checking out what I have to say. Let me get all set up here and wait for some people to get in, and we'll get this thing started. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. I did test this headset, but I was a little slow. I guess we'll find out here in just a second. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Seems like it works for me. Hey, Brenda, how we doing? Thanks for stopping in. You having a good weekend so far? I know I'm over here at my parents' house. Everything looks a little different. Figured we had some internet here. I'd stop in and get this live chat taken care of. It's been a little bit since I've had this box. I bet you I've probably had this box for about a month now. You're getting storms tonight? I think we're supposed to get like a half inch of rain in the middle of the night. Looking in the background over there, we got some clouds rolling in. They seem to be moving southeast at the moment. Nice and fluffy. Got some light blue skies behind the light gray clouds. So you've been staying busy, Brenda? Been putting that chainsaw to use? Tell you what, that little 4-inch chainsaw really surprised me. Ooh, tornadoes. That does not sound good. I guess that is what it's going to be, though. You got the hot and the cold weather hitting, combined in together. The best time to work is in the cold. You don't break a sweat that way. Our new land. Hello, how are you? Yeah, I like that little 4-inch chainsaw so much. I went and got a little bit something beefier. I got some plans for that little thing. I think there's another YouTuber that I'd probably like to give it to. I'm sure she could use it a lot more than I can. She was nice enough to give me Christmas cards, and she's been nice to me ever since I came on to YouTube. Well, we've got 6 of you in here. I appreciate you stopping in. Feel free to smash that like button and write in the comments on how long my hair's getting. I was going through some of my older videos today, just kind of cleaning up some junk basically, and this was like super, super short when I started doing YouTube a couple years ago. Yeah, this is the hat Jake sent me. Oh, it's well over a year ago. So this is my dinner hat. I only wear this whenever I'm not going to be getting dirty. So Kevin over there at Lazy Pond Farms, the hat he gave me, I should say, is my farm hat. It's one of those big poofy ones. It's a farmer's hat for sure. Well, we got 6 of you in here. Well, 5 if you want to include myself. I might as well get this started. Like I said, they sent me that chainsaw first, and apparently they liked the shorts that I did enough that they wanted me to unbox a cordless buffer. Now, I did put the link that she sent me down in the description, so feel free to order it off of Amazon, I guess. One thing that I've noticed with the cordless stuff, they're only sending the sample stuff for us to review with one battery. But if I was you and you're going to buy any of this, I'd do the upgrade. Definitely do the upgrade. Get at least 2 batteries. For that little chainsaw, you need 2 batteries for sure, maybe even 3. I think you could buy extra batteries. And definitely even maybe a chain. Well, I literally popped out that video real quick, and hello, Lori. I popped out those 2 shorts real quick, and then sent her my links to those videos, and she literally got back to me right away. But so let's see what we got here. Nice little box. Hopefully I'm not moving it too fast. And of course, Saker. But it looks like it's a 12 volt. It does anything anywhere between 2,500 and 5,000 RPMs. Excuse me. There's the cordless buffer polisher. Satisfaction guaranteed. I tell you what, if this little thing works as good as that little 4-inch chainsaw, this is going to be great for what I'm going to use it for. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of my vehicles, but I'm sure you can tell that I don't buff and wax them. So I'm going to probably use this for some of my artwork stuff. Lori's saying hi to everyone. Devin says I need more than 1 battery for sure. Hopefully this has got more than 1 battery. From what I see in the pictures, it kind of reminds me of my batteries from my Red Army stuff. Hey, Mom. Thanks for stopping in. So this has got a little 12-volt battery that really reminds me of my Red power tools. Oh, for sure, Devin. This is going to be for... Or Brenda, sorry. This is going to be good for whenever I'm buffing my those records that I make. I put that epoxy on there. It should really make that epoxy pop. There's some rocks that I'm wanting to buff to make some necklaces out of. And then, of course, I got some old car seats that I am wanting to turn into computer chairs. One of them's out of a van. It's got some questionable stains that I think this will do good at taking that out with just a little bit of cleaner. So are we ready to get this thing open? See if I can get a paper cut opening this here plastic. So I gave this knife to my dad to open some mail earlier. I think he would have had a better time opening the mail with a butter knife, because this thing has seen its better days. All right, we've got the plastic off, and I have it out of the brown box. So on the back here, it says it's got 6 gears. It's a quality cordless polisher. It's 12 volts, 200 milliamp hours. So it's got a pretty decent battery in it. Sorry. It looks like it comes with a charger, some little black thing, and at least 5 buffer pads, plus the foam pad underneath. They're saying we could polish the car with it. We can clean our stoves, which that's a good idea. Wash the sink, stainless. You could always buff stainless. And clean glass. I bet you Beth is going to like that part, the cleaning glass. Our backsliding glass deck kind of collects tree sap, and she has a difficult time getting it off. So I think it'll help. Keep digging. Hey, how we doing? I appreciate you stopping in. This is a little bit different crowd than what you're used to seeing, I believe. But everybody's all good here. There's another shot of the front. Try to get it without any glare on it. Finally get this box open. Well, it looks like I want to find out what that black thing is right off of the bat. Orange cleaner or WD-40 for the sap? Well, hopefully she's on here and she's just hiding in the background somewhere and she reads that. Or she watches this a little bit later. Virginia, hello. Thanks for stopping in. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Today we are opening the Saker cordless buffer, and I'm going to do an unboxing and we'll test it out a little later. So we got a nice little foam pad here. Looks like it's got a sticky back. Apparently these all, no, that's a hook and loop back, so it's going to be Velcro. We got a 2000 grit sandpaper, which that's exactly what I want for the epoxy stuff that I have. We have another foam pad that's got these little dimples in it. That's a good thing. Here's that black thing that I was wondering about. I don't know. We'll figure out what that is. It kind of looks like a cleaning rag of some sort. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And it looks like there is multiple microfiber cloths in here. We are going to have to open this up and find out. Oh, yeah. They're just popping out everywhere. All right, so I'm going to guess that is just a cover so you don't get wax or whatever you used last all over the place. We have a pretty fine microfiber. Slightly less aggressive. There's the wool buffing pad that I'll use for cleaning interior, like my headliner and the car seats. And we have another slightly fuzzier pad there. We have another. This is the wax pad, the buffing pad itself, I believe. So that's a surprise. There's a lot more in this box than I thought there was going to be. Excuse me, I got a little something in my throat today. All right, so Teller orange cleaner, that's where I left off. Keep digging. Everybody's saying hi. That's good, good. All right, so let's figure out what this black thing is before I get any deeper into this, because this has got me curious. Well, apparently I'm getting outsmarted by a bag. Is that a pocket? Oh, it's an apron. It looks like an apron for a 5-year-old, but it's an apron. All right, that's cool. One single pocket. Is this a cell phone pocket, I wonder? Because everything has a cell phone pocket in it nowadays. All right, interesting, interesting. I don't think I'll be able to put any vinyl or anything on that. I'm sure it'll melt if I put it inside of the heat press. Yeah, I kind of thought it was a carrying bag myself, or a blanket that you put over, so whenever you're leaning over, that your belt loop or your snaps on your pants don't scratch your paint. Is kind of what I thought it was off the bat. We got one battery, which I'm sure needs charged. And this really looks like it's going to be the same as my Red Army equipment. I have a lot of that red cordless tool stuff. All right, so we got a battery and we got another charger. I think this is only a 12 volt, so it'll be different than the one for the chainsaw. And all right, so right up here is where the plug-in is. So it'll plug in right there for the charger. We got a nice big piece of styrofoam that's going to come in handy for something. It does smell funny. It smells like glue. Should we go through the owner's manual and see if anything sticks out? Because I'm not very good at reading things, but if it's got some pretty pictures, I'll stop and look at those. We got some technical data, some instructions, what the symbols mean. Warning, 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 warning. Trying to get your attention. There's 3 different warnings right there. Finally, after 13 pages, I finally got some pictures. I have no idea what's going on in those 13 pages. But those 2 pictures are just showing me how to plug the battery in. Two release buttons, the polishing disc, on-off switch. Apparently it has a battery charge indicator light, and that seems to be on the battery. What did I do with the battery? It's underneath the styrofoam there. I swear that picture says it's on the battery, but maybe it's on this piece of equipment here. Well, maybe once it's got some pretty lights on it, I'll be able to see, because I definitely don't have my glasses. Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. Hello. Awesome pictures. I have to get started preparing the hamburger for the family. All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully your hamburger ain't all watery like mine's been getting here lately. I swear it had a cup and a half of water in the bottom of the pan with grease floating on top of it. So there's lights on it somewhere and a speed wheel. So we got the hook and loop part, or the hook part on the buffer itself. There's the speed dial, on-off switch. But I'm not seeing any pretty lights. So you think this thing came with a charge, or do you think it's totally dead? Hey, there's the pretty lights, the indicators. Looks like I got 2 bars. We're on speed 3 right now. There's how low speed 1 is. Apparently that's about 5,000 RPMs. Feels weird when you're moving it around. I don't know if you guys, whenever you was younger, you had bicycle tires off. You'd spin the bicycle tire around and hold on to the axle and it'd fight you. Yeah, that's what that just kind of felt like. But that seemed really smooth. We got the same plastics and same rubber as the chainsaw. We got some, I think I see an MB Heritage Farm up there. Hey, Michael, thanks for stopping in. But we got some directional grooves telling you which way it's turning. And I think it's going to be as easy as, well, I'm not very good there, but as easy as that to put what I'm probably going to use most on this thing, 2000 grit sandpaper. That looks like it's probably a 4-inch wheel. I'm going to guess that's a 4-inch wheel. But this little thing is going to be so handy. It's small enough right here. I think I'll be able to mount it in a vise and be able to polish things up here. Thank you, Saker. I appreciate it. I want to do a couple more. I want to use this for a little bit, and then I'll put out a real review. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I really haven't put out any videos lately. In the last week, I've put out 2 lives, or maybe it's 2 weeks. But this is my second live, and you think that's a 6-inch wheel? My hands ain't no 6 inches. All right, well, it might be. Let me get back in here. Blah, 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 blah. No, Brenda, it's not very heavy at all. It's about maybe actually lighter than that little 4-inch chainsaw. Yeah, I definitely could use this all day long, even over my head. Watch my fingers. What am I going to watch? Get them sanded down? Hey, I wonder if Beth could use this at the salon. Think the ladies coming in for the manicures and pedicures will get scared of that? Oh, sometimes I crack myself up. But hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. The more that I'm sitting here, the less of the gray sky that I see. It's clouding up real quick. Heck, we might get rain before midnight. I think I need to pay attention to which side the hole's on, otherwise I would have been wearing it. A dollar bill is 6 inches. I'm broke. I don't think I got a dollar bill. I know that there's probably at least 4 tape measures over there, but I'm just a little too lazy to get up and get it. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well. So what have I been on here? 24 minutes. That's pretty decent for me, I think. I know it's always hard stretching out for an hour. My attention span's usually only about 8 minutes. One thing about all these shorts that's been coming out here, I could jump through short after short after short, and then 3 hours later, I haven't got nothing done. Well, as you can tell, I'm over here at my parents' house. Uh, Mom has got all kinds of stuff started. She's got tomatoes started already, and I've heard her say something about zinnias, and she gave me asparagus last year. I did see some asparagus seeds that she had. Uh, she's getting a good start. Apparently, I'm going to be making a raised bed for her a little bit later on, probably next week or two. I don't know if I'm going to bring some wood or anything. What have I been up to? I don't know. Just been hanging out at the house. Been trying to clean. Uh, take care of the dog. She's not doing very good. Um, just really not had much to do with artwork or anything like that to make a video. So I got a new editing program that I don't have figured out. So I can't use the computer. I'm still editing on this phone right here. Oh, I got that CAD software that I'm trying to learn because of my 3D printer. I don't have. I made Mom. So Mom's birthday was the other day. I made her a nice bowl with, I think it's called a Celtic knot, and then put one of those fake candles on the inside. You're welcome, Mom. Your dryer vent wasn't that hard to fix. Yeah, Mom's dryer vent, the little flapper things, two of them blew off. I was able to find one of them, and I couldn't find the other one, so I grabbed a piece of aluminum and some snips and made one. That seemed to work. I don't know how long it'll work, but it seemed to work. Yeah, I don't know. I just got lost all of a sudden. Oh, I've been working on that 3D printer stuff. I tell you what, from not being able to be much, I don't know. I can't say I'm not mechanically inclined, but when it comes to computer type stuff, I'm not all that great. And I've picked up this 3D printer pretty easy. But as far as the CAD program, it's throwing me for a loop. Now, I did play with something called Tinkercad a while back ago when I actually had the internet. It seemed to be really easy to use. It's seemed to be really easy to use, but you got to have internet for that. And if all of you guys that's been around with me for a while, you know that I don't have very good internet. It's right here on these phones. But I did end up downloading something called FreeCAD that I'm trying to learn. And I don't know, I've made a couple pieces, but it's really hard. I got to literally watch YouTube videos as I'm making things. Well, thank you, Mom. Yeah, the self candle, the plastic that I used was actually called marble. So I printed some things off at the house, and Beth didn't think it looked like it was marble. She called it dirty white. Dirty white is what she called it, which it does kind of look like it's a light gray, and it's got some darker little chunks in it. So I could see where she's coming up with dirty white. I've only got yellow, black, white, dirty white, and my green filament, like I think it's called OD green. It's like a dark green, like a dark green like this. That should be here shortly. Well, thank you, Brenda. We've been selling a lot of them up there at the salon. I've got some new jewelry stuff that I kind of really need to get going doing. Um, I've got some petrified wood that I want to run through a tile saw and buff it up and then turn it into necklaces, and maybe break a couple pieces and turn it into a whole set, necklaces and earrings. I do have about 1.5 gallons of epoxy right now, so I could do like an epoxy table. I've been wanting to do an epoxy table. I've got all kinds of people that want 2 different types of earrings, but I've only got a mold to do 1 set at a time, which is kind of difficult because you got to let them set for 48 hours before you pull them out. And you don't want to mix up like just this much epoxy to make smearing. So you need to have a project like, so every time I do a clock, I pour some jewelry on the side, or, whatever I need to do. I agree with you, Brenda. I think a table would be cool. So a while back ago, I got this little tool. It's basically an oversized pencil sharpener. So I'll be able to go out and use that little chainsaw and cut down some saplings about this big. And then you take that and you make a tenon. So it's basically a big old pencil sharpener, and it'll sharpen it down at a wedge, and then it'll have a 1.5 inch peg sticking out, and then I'll take an 1.5 inch hole saw and drill a hole in the board, and then that peg should go right in there. I did see on that walk, it's a live chat that I took you on when I was looking for the deer. I seen some tree stumps that look pretty cool. I should be able to drag a ladder out there in my chainsaw and my chainsaw mill and cut the top of it off, probably 3-4 inches thick, and hopefully have a table, one of those coffee tables that's about yay big around and about yay thick. I think I might be able to pull off something like that. That, and then I got some barn wood. I would like to make some shelving and then just put some epoxy over the top of that because it's so weathered it looks really cool. And then also, whenever I was down in the river last, it looks like it used to be a tree stump, the roots and all, they got uprooted, and it's pretty close to the bank. When river's down a little bit later, I should be able to use the 4-wheeler to pull that out. If I use the chainsaw mill on that, I think that would make one heck of a table, just because of the way the roots are all bound up. The epoxy is not really hard to work with. It's a 2-part ordeal. It's got to be a certain temperature, like 7. The warmer it is, the faster it hardens. You want it on a level table because it is a self-leveling. So if you put a big glob in it, of course, it's going to level out. It traps bubbles. So wood, like for the coffee table, for instance, I'll come through and I'll put a super thin coat of epoxy on it. Hey, Beth, how are you? I appreciate you stopping in. But I'll put a thin coat of epoxy on it to keep the air out. For some reason, natural wood holds air bubbles and it releases it. And whenever you look at anything epoxy and it has air bubbles in it, it either came from what the epoxy went on, or they poured it too thick, and or they forgot to use a torch or a heat gun to bring the bubbles up to the top. The more that you thin your epoxy out, the easier it levels and the easier it is to get the bubbles out. In my research, I believe that you don't want to pour any more than 2 inches at a time. Otherwise, the bubbles won't want to come out and it'll take super long to dry. Neil, hey, treasure hunter. Appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully you're doing better than the last time I talked to you. You had some issues going on last time I talked to you. You was washing dishes? Yeah, so that's kind of what I was getting at. I will put a very thin layer of that epoxy on it before you put the thick, and that will seal it. That'll keep, once that thin layer is hardened, it won't let the air bubbles up through the top. And it'll literally trap it on the inside. Oh, something else about those tables. Apparently, they are super hard to clean because you got to get all the bark off of them. If there's any cracks or anything like that, you need to get a little wire brush and a pick and clean all those out. If there's any knots or anything that's about ready to pop out, you need to glue those back in. If there's any cracks, you need to seal the bottom whenever you do the big pour and make a dam around the edges to hold the epoxy in. Otherwise, it'll leak out everywhere. That's about all the info that I could remember. I spent like 3 days researching epoxy tables before I ever did anything. Hey, Beth, how are you? Is Dory asleep? And what's for dinner? I should be home after I finish this live. Unless I see Jesse out, I might stop by and talk to Jesse if he's outside on my way home. Man, it's getting cold. I had to break out this old Army coat out of the Jeep, out of the van, because I came over here in just a t-shirt earlier. It was that nice. Now that it's getting dark and clouding over, it's pretty nippy. So I was going to do this live on the front porch of this garage, but the wind is blowing, and it was just too cold for my little pansy ass. I'm getting pretty cold right now. Well, guys, now that I said something about food, I think I'm going to, hey, Tina, how are you? I'm sorry, I'm thinking about getting off here when you just got on. Oh, you're driving and listening? Well, you be safe. Pork barbecue, corn on the cob, and mac and cheese. How long till that's ready? Oh, my. Corn on the cob. Well, Tina, hopefully you're driving safe and you're going somewhere fun. Man, I'm getting colder and colder as we're sitting here. Somewhere real fun. I know, Brenda. That I can't wait to go home. Oh, this mac and cheese. This generic, cheap, dirt cheap mac and cheese that we found has got to be better than that Chester Cheeto stuff that I did a taste test on a while back. It's like 3 times better than that, and you can buy probably 3 boxes for the same price. Oh, by the way, I have got a lot of pickle stuff sitting ready for me to do reviews on. There's some pickle stuff that I didn't even know that they made pickles out of. Well, pickle tasting stuff out of. Oh. All right. I am going to get off here. I'm starting to shiver now. I appreciate you all stopping in. Y'all have the great rest of the weekend, which is only a few more hours for most of you, I'm sure. Hopefully tomorrow ain't too bad for you. And remember, smile while you still have teeth, and I shall see you next time. Ah! Hopefully that didn't hurt. Are you there? I dropped you. Sorry.